Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Monday Moffcast. Make sure that my correct mic is plugged in. Hopefully, what is going to be a fun, cool show for you guys tonight. I'm going to do a little bit of a talk. I did this at a conference that I attended a couple of months ago, and it's going to be kind of a abbreviated version of that. I also thought that it would be a good thing to talk about. So, in case you guys didn't know, in case anybody wants to send me something cool like a gift, today is my birthday. I put it on Instagram, so you guys can go follow me there if you want to know how old I am. I'm not going to give that away. Not that that really matters, but whatever. So, I'm not one for big birthday celebrations. I think celebrating birthdays is like pretty womanly. I think that's for women. I think like once you're the past of like 25, there's really no reason to celebrate a birthday. Yeah, you turn 30, I guess, but and then it's like, oh, cool, like I'm 30. But in any case, yeah, I appreciate that. You guys want, whatever. It's all good. So I think birthday posts and I think celebrating your birthday is pretty derivative and trite, but at the same time, I think it's sometimes wise to think about maybe some of the lessons that you've acquired or some of the things that you've thought about and just kind of how you view the world maybe once a year. Um, so Guys, if you guys want to ask questions, just wait till I'll try to get to them maybe at the end, or I'll drop the call-in link. But anyway, like questions, I'm just not going to take them throughout the live here. So if you guys want to do the call-ins, let me know. We can maybe spend some time at the end, or I can save some time at the end for questions. So because I've found that if I start looking at the chat and I start paying attention to questions, like I just get derailed and I get off track. So the title of today's video is 12 Lessons for My Future Son. Now, when I originally put this presentation together, I wanted to kind of take some of the lessons that I had been taught as a kid and sort of flip them on their head. I think that I was taught a lot of things growing up that I wouldn't teach my own son. And I think I was taught some things that overall haven't served me in life. And maybe that's a different show for a different day. And because I had to get like an entire hour out of this talk and out of this presentation. So I can only think of a couple things. Maybe that's maybe a short form video that I could do or a longer form video. If you guys aren't watching my long form stuff, like, watch that stuff, at least like the video, leave a comment. It really helps me out. So in any case, let's just kind of get right down to it. And I'm going to talk about each one of these lessons in like a subheading. I'm not going to put it on screen or anything like that, but I'm going to be, I'm going to drag this so I can still read it. And then I can still essentially see myself on the screen and go full screen. So, lesson number one, there's an inverse relationship between comfort and growth. And the subheading is knee jerks are indicators. This is not something that should be super foreign to anyone. This is not something that should be groundbreaking or like, oh my God, I've never heard that before. But this is something, I think the deeper part of this is that so many of us are focused on being comfortable. We don't want to be uncomfortable. I was away training this entire weekend over about 45 minutes north of Atlanta with the Full Spectrum Warrior guys who I have, a good relationship with. We've got a couple of events that we're doing out with them this year. We're going back in April. We're doing another event in June. It's an amazing compound. They've got, a cabin on site, multiple shooting ranges, a shoot house where you can do close quarters combat, long rifle range, obstacle course, weights, equipment, combat training. It's amazing. And I was doing one of their annual events, and it was record cold down here in Florida this past weekend. And I was underprepared. I didn't pack the right amount of clothes. I should have packed more. I should have packed a heavier jacket. And so for essentially 48 straight hours, I just straight up suffered. I was just cold. I couldn't, no matter how many layers, no matter how much I moved around, no matter how many push-ups I did, jumping jacks, I just could not get warm. And I was thinking to myself, like, how can I turn this into an opportunity for growth? Like, how can I turn this into something positive? Because it's just miserable, absolutely miserable. You don't want to do anything. You don't want to train. When you're cold, the only thing you're focusing on is getting warm. I think being cold, personally, is one of the worst feelings in the entire world. Like, I was thinking about this. It's like, I don't know. Maybe we should run a poll on this, but would you rather be perpetually cold, never be able to warm up, or would you rather be perpetually hungry, never be able to be full? I can't think which one's worth. I think cold. I'd rather be hungry for the rest of my life than cold, but I digress. So it's like, how can I turn this into a growth phase? How can I look at this? And I think there's a couple ways. One, like exposing yourself to cold and being uncomfortable I will never make that mistake again. I will always check the weather. If I'm going to be doing outdoor training, I'll always take the weather seriously. I'll always make sure that I have a nice, puffy, heavy jacket that I can put on, or I'll always make sure that I have a plan. And that's something that I'm going to grow from and I'm going to learn from. It's like being prepared. Otherwise, you're just going to have to eat shit and you're just going to have to suffer. And when you're suffering, you're not focused on training, you're not focused on getting better. So the other thing about this, about knee jerks being indicators, this is a really common thing that I find myself still doing a lot, that I've gotten a lot better at, but I also notice this in a lot of people. And this is one of the things I try to like talk to my guys about in the brotherhood, especially some of the younger ones that I try to bring along and try to mentor. And just in general, when you hear something or when somebody says something to you and you have a knee jerk reaction, like your first initial reaction is to fire back, or it's to defend yourself, or it's to tell them why they're wrong. That is an indicator that they struck a nerve. And it's an indicator that there's probably some truth to what they're saying. You know, when TC and I get on these Tuesday shows and he talks about his multiple women in his house and his homestead, people just go crazy in the comments. People just want to lash out. Or even when I talk about some of this stuff like on TikTok, where I am universally hated by, you know, the female population for the most part, there's always, you know, there's a bunch of sayings like you only get flack when you're over the target, or, but essentially it's not about other people. It's if somebody is saying something to you and you're having a negative reaction or you want to fire back at them, it's probably a good idea to take a second, to take a breather and try to internalize and figure out, why am I having this reaction? Like, why am I feeling this way? I love Spencer to death. You guys know Spencer. If you guys are going to come watch the show tonight, I run a lot of ideas by him and TC. These guys are really close. They're on the team. They're part of the brand that I'm building. And sometimes I'll say something and he'll just be like, that's a fucking stupid idea. And I'm like, whoa, like, who the fuck do you think you are? Right. Like but I have that moment where I'm like, okay, like, let me figure out why I'm having this reaction. It's like, what about it? What am I missing from this conversation? Like, what am I missing? What do I need to ask for more context? I need to ask for, okay, help me explain why this is so fucking stupid. You know, help me explain why this is a potentially dumb idea. And so, you know, when you are comfortable and you're only around people that are telling you what you want to hear, and you never have to second guess any of your thoughts, or you never have to think about why you think about X, Y, Z, then you're staying stagnant and you're not growing. And there's sometimes, like, for example, we're going to start doing a lot more emphasis on the brotherhood. You guys haven't seen already, I've changed the ticker. Yeah, the academy is great, but what we're really interested in growing is the brotherhood. We want more guys that want to come on events, come on trips, that want to do shit, that don't want to just talk about shit. There's enough talking about shit out there for everybody. There's enough talking about it on YouTube, on Instagram. Everybody's doing this. There's so few guys that are actually going out and doing the shit. And those are the guys that we want to be around. And those are the guys that we want to help build and grow our brand. And so it would be really comfortable just to kind of do the same old stuff. It'd be really comfortable just be like, all right, we're just going to keep doing what we're doing. Like, it'll figure out. And then if you're comfortable, then there's no stimulus for growth, then you're just going to stay where you're at. And if you're a stay where you're at guy, that's fine. You're just not going to be around us. You're not going to hang out with us. So pay attention to your knee jerks. Like, pay attention when someone says something to you, or when you read something, or when someone criticizes you, or when someone just says something completely innocuous that's not aimed at you, and you have a negative visceral reaction. Think about what they're trying to tell you, or think about what your brain is trying to tell you. You are fighting that. You're trying to resist because it goes against your safe world theory, or whatever sort of comfort zone you've created for yourself. And if you're not careful and you filter out all of those opinions and you filter out everything that causes you to knee jerk, there's just no way you're ever going to be able to grow. And you're going to wake up tomorrow and be 80. You're going to wake up tomorrow and be dead, essentially. So pay attention. Like, you cannot be comfortable and grow. You just can't. Number 2, build your tribe around those that have earned a place. And the subheading there is, what have you done for me lately? Now, I tell guys, you guys know how much I bang on the drum about the guys you surround yourself, the people you surround yourself, being the catalyst for your growth and being who you are and who you're going to be, even subconsciously. Right? So much of this stuff is just the way guys talk, the way guys look that are around you, the activities they partake in, the things that they say about themselves, their lives, their relationships, their romantic interactions, even what they're doing on a day-to-day basis, even how they talk to you. Those things have a subliminal sort of subconscious effect on you. it's taken me a very long time to get into the shape that I want to be in. But that's largely due to not putting myself around guys that were in crazy good shape. It wasn't until I started going to train MMA and do that multiple days a week. You guys haven't noticed, like MMA fighters, like pro amateur fighters, whatever, they have insanely good physiques. They're low body fat. They work out a ton, and a lot of guys that are in the community, I usually only see them maybe like once a month, maybe a few times a year because they're all scattered. We travel to do events and things like that. And so, yes, I've got to kind of look the part, own the part, be the part. But as long as I was getting by, I was like, oh, it's okay. These guys are going to cut me some slack versus I'm the most out of shape at the fight gym. Like, no, this isn't going to work out. Like, I can't do that. Now, part of building your tribe around these guys that have earned it, like that's the key. They have to earn it and they have to continue to earn it. A lot of these guys will say, hey, once you're in the circle, once you're in the tribe, like you're in for life. You've gained entry. You're one of my guys. And then guys will start putting their guard down. They'll start letting bullshit behavior slide. They'll start not calling guys out. They'll start not holding the line. And really it's about, if you want somebody to continue to invest in you, or if you want somebody to continue to be a part of what you're doing and get the benefits of being in your tribe, whatever perks come with that, the guidance, the events, the things that you do, the things that you include them in on, they have to continue to earn that. And it's a two-way street, and you have to continue to earn that for them as well. But oftentimes, there's been times where I've seen guys like build a circle or build sort of a network or a group, and they think that their contributions and what it took them to get in at first, that should be enough. It really reminds me a lot of guys that get married and then they just fall off a cliff. Like they do all the right things to get the girl, they do all the right things to get the ring on the finger, and they get the house and the kids and all that. And then they just think they're done. They just think they're finished. And then the woman she's wondering what happened to the guy that used to plan dates, that used to be the leader, that used to tell her no, that used to make decisions for the both of them, that used to be this guy that had a purpose and a plan, and he was moving towards that unapologetically. And so the game never ends, and the comfort can't be something you ever fall into permanently. Like a lot of guys think like, oh, like that's why I like to go MGTOW, because I don't ever have to make people happy. It's like, not to get into that. We'll talk about the Sigma bullshit another time. But the point is, like, whether it's with women or whether it's other men, you always have to be earning your place in the group. You always have to be earning your place in the tribe and earning your place around. You don't get credit for what you did X number of years ago. Now, you might find guys out there that you've helped. Maybe you helped them a lot, or maybe you did a really big thing, or maybe they did a really big thing for you to get in. And that's something that has staying power for a long time. But eventually, you can't ride on your successes from the past. You cannot sit there and say, hey, I did this thing for you that one time, so therefore I have a license to act however I want to act forever. It just doesn't work like that. So part of this is be continuously pruning the people that are around you, but understand there's still a burden of performance, whether you're a leader of a tribe or whether you're part of one. You always have to be doing things that are moving that forward. And you don't get to rest on your laurels if you want to be a part of that thing. And if you want to be somebody that's recognized or a part of that community or whatever that might be, it's all about what have you done for me lately. Number 3, don't exercise your demons. Exercise your demons. Now, don't exercise your demons is EXORCISE, essentially exorcism, like getting them out, right? Like purging the demons. And then the second part is exercise your demons, like exercise, like EXERCISE. And then the subheading there is pain is fuel, create your own if necessary. So there's a lot of guys that this is a part of the problem with modern feminist narrative therapy speak, where everybody is so worried about healing your traumas and like, oh, you need time to heal after a breakup or something bad happened to you. You need to take time to heal, to become a person again. And not using the pain of loss or the sting of regret or the anger of something happening to you that you didn't plan for and that affected you negatively is a complete waste. It's like somebody handing you a can of gasoline. You have a car that is out of gas and someone's like, hey, take this gasoline. This stuff will drive you far and fast. And if you put the fucking pedal to the metal, you will zoom. And you're like, nah, that's cool. I'd rather push the car. I'd rather just throw it in neutral and push the car because I don't want the quick, easy fix. Like I don't want to become dependent on gasoline as fuel. I want to heal from my trauma. It feels better just to push the car. If you said that to somebody, they'd be looking at you like you're a fucking idiot. Now, at the same time, we can kind of pivot. We talk about a lot of this stuff. Like your pain is fuel. It's like fire. I mean, fire isn't necessarily fuel, but you know where I'm going with this. It's all about what you do with it. If you use pain as a source of fuel and you treat it like fire, there's a lot of good things you can do with fire. There's a lot of good things that you can do. You can make a campfire. You can cook over it. You can heat your house. There's a lot of great things that we use fire for, and heat in general is a byproduct of that. But also, you can set fire to your neighbor's house. You can burn shit down. You can let it get out of control to the point where you can no longer contain it, and then it consumes you. And so your demons are not something that should just be forgotten about, because you don't ever want to become a doormat either. You don't ever want to get a reputation of some guy that's just like, oh, the namaste guy. Like people could just walk all over you and fuck you over and screw you over and do all this bad shit to you and then just get off scot-free, because your reputation will follow you and people will know that you're a fucking doormat that's not going to do anything. Like you're not there. They'll find out that you're not game. Like, Jack Donovan talks about in The Way of Men measuring gameness. And they did this with like dogs that were dog fighting. It's like, gameness is a measurement of, if somebody punches you, are you going to hit back? And if somebody realizes they can punch you as many times as they want and they're not going to hit back, you're not going to hit back, or they can take your shit, or they can do whatever the fuck they want to you, what is the incentive for them to hold up? You hope that maybe they might feel bad for you, but when somebody's trying to do you harm, like they don't care. Especially when it's for their own personal gain. And most people, I think, are just looking out for themselves. I think mostly human beings, as much as they like to say the opposite, most people are worried about themselves and their immediate circle. If the power grid went down tomorrow, you guys know what would happen. We wouldn't be giving a shit about strangers. We'd be looking for resource and taking care of ourselves and our people. So it's about taking those demons and saying, what do I have? Like, what angers me? What fuels me? Whether it's proving people wrong, whether it's just the fire of trying to shove it in somebody's face, fine, man, use it. That's all fine, well, and good. Now, again, there's a point where it can be over the top, and there's a point where you can really let this stuff spill over and become just a nightmare for yourself. But pain is fuel. It's the most potent fuel source on the planet. Amazing things can happen. And a lot of guys, it's like a breakup or a divorce or a business partner fucking them over and taking their money, or somebody running out on them, or just not doing what they said they were going to do, going back on deals, all that kind of stuff. And so, that stuff sucks. That stuff hurts. It's okay for that shit to hurt. It's okay to be angry about that. And if you don't even have pain, if you don't have that fuel, if you're like, damn, man, I wish a chick would dump me so I could get back in the gym. I wish a business partner would fuck me over so I'd have something to fight for. It's an easy strategy, or it's an important strategy. I don't know if it's easy. I've talked about this in a video before, that sometimes you can create your own demons. You can create your own boogeyman. One of the things that David Goggins talks about is this idea that there's somebody out there. It's like, why do you train so hard? Why do you get up? Why do you run? Why do you do this? Your knees aren't shit. Who are you trying to beat? Who are you trying to train for? Who are you trying to fight for? And it's like, there's somebody out there who is watching you. There's somebody out there, this boogeyman, that is keeping tabs on my every move. And that person's training when I don't want to train. That person's running when I don't want to run. That person's building when I don't feel like building. And that person is coming for every single thing that I want in this life. Now, it might not be a specific person, but that's absolutely true. We have a finite amount of resources. There are a finite amount of beautiful women that are worth getting into relationships with. There are finite everything that men want. There's a finite amount of status, right? Like, because if everybody has status, then nobody has status. If everybody has money, then nobody has money. If everybody has beautiful women, then nobody has beautiful women. These things that men want are exclusionary by nature. Otherwise, they don't have any value. The value of something is dictated by its rarity and its commonality. And so if you need to say, hey, there's somebody out there and I don't want to get up to the gym, or I don't want to go train Muay Thai, or I don't want to do this because I got a bum ankle or something like that, there's somebody out there that's coming for everything I got. And if I stack enough of those days where I don't feel like doing it, or I don't feel like using that pain, or I can't figure out a way to motivate myself. Now, discipline solves a lot of this, but that intense fuel that allows you to really dig deep and push past when your brain's telling you to quit, that's where you really tap into that. That's when you really find those demons. And that's when you can try to create that boogeyman and create that guy. It's like, hey, that guy's coming for you. Oh, you don't want to do this last lap because you're tired, or you don't want to go and figure out this last round. You want to take this round off. Well, guess what? Motherfucker out there is not taking the round off. And if you make this a habit and you take every third round off, you stack that over the course of a year, that's 365 rounds that this guy has over you just because he didn't take a round off when it came to sparring or whatever it is. So that's number 3. Exercise those demons. Put the demons to work. Don't get rid of them. Number 4, pretty self-explanatory, goes without saying, but choose women who choose women who complement, not complicate your life. And the subheading there is the mission always comes first. As a man, you need to have a mission. You need to have a North Star. You need to have a purpose. You need to have something you're working towards every single day. And a lot of guys like to fight with me over this. A lot of guys think that their woman is their purpose. A lot of guys think their children is their purpose, their family. And I've always said, and I will say until the day I can't even speak anymore, that a man's mission and purpose needs to be something outside of his family. It needs to be something that it's his and only his, that he has and that cannot be taken away from him. Because a woman can leave you. And the government can take your kids away. Government can take your money away. They can freeze your assets. They can take your cars. They can take your house. They can take material possessions from you. They can leave you destitute. But what they can't take is that burning fire within you and that passion and that purpose that keeps you going every single day. And I think that's part of the reason why guys get so fucked up in breakups and divorce, because they make their woman the purpose of their entire lives. She's the reason I do this. She's the reason I get out of bed every day. She's the reason I work so hard. My family is the reason that I work myself to the bone. And guess what, man? Like, that can all come crashing down. That's just the reality of it. I'm not telling guys like, hey, man, don't do it for women because she's just going to break up with your ass one day when the handsome Chad comes along. I'm not one of these like doomer fucking retards that is like, oh, like, why even bother? Juice isn't worth the squeeze because women like to monkey branch. Like, you motherfuckers need to shut the fuck up. I hate motherfuckers that talk like that. And if you're one of those guys, don't watch my shit. Just click off this right now. But there needs to be something that gets you out of bed every single day. You need to have a why. You need to have a purpose, something that you're chasing. Now, and the woman that you should be bringing into your life should be a complement to that. I've ragged on Alex Hormozy before. I've done a show on him on like love his business stuff. I don't agree with a lot of this. I didn't, and I still don't agree with a lot of the ways that he likes to run his marriage and his relationship. I don't think it's a good idea to have Layla like the CEO of his companies. But I was listening to something. I don't remember who he interviewed with. It might have been with Chris Williamson, but he's like, the reason it works. Now, he also is not going to have kids. They don't plan to have kids. And again, it's another thing I disagree with, like business and his companies or his children, which again, whatever. The thing that he said that really stuck with me is he went to Layla, his wife, and said, I love my goals. I love my mission, my purpose. I love all of that more than I'm ever going to love you. I will always love my mission more than I love you. And that's a hard thing to say to a chick. That's a lot of balls. A lot of guys don't have the fucking balls to say that stuff to a chick. They'll be like, yeah, like, you know, she's like, pick me or your career. He's like, oh, I'd pick you, right? Like, oh, like, please don't leave me. And he was like, nah, my goals are more important to me than you. Because if you leave, I'll still have my goals. But if my goals leave, I'm not going to have you, right? You see how that works? And her response, apparently, what he says was, that's fine, because the number one thing I want in life is to help you get to your goals. Her goals, making money, being in good shape, like all this other boss babe shit, all this other like, oh, I want to like be recognized and I want to get awards for making the best spreadsheets at work and like being this boss bitch who blah, blah, blah is like this power woman, like Oprah or whoever the fuck. She's just like, my mission and purpose is to help you achieve your mission and purpose. And that's what you want to look out for. Men, you need to be on that mission. And if a woman's going to be in your life, her mission should be helping you achieve your mission. Her purpose should be helping you achieve your purpose. It's just the way it's going to work. It's just the way it has to work. Not only for you to really achieve what you want, but to keep a woman around long-term, to keep her invested in you. It's like, we talk about this all the time. It's like, Your North Star needs to be something that's not her. That's where you're going. I talked about this in my leadership video that I did. It's like leading the relationship is the most important trait that you can have, but that doesn't always mean like telling your woman what to do. It's like leading can just be leading by example. It's like, I'm doing the work. I'm sprinting up the hill. I'm lifting. I'm doing my training. I'm getting the shit done. I'm traveling to go on the conference. Like I'm doing the stuff that I need to put my dent in the universe. And she's like, yeah, that's still leading. She's along for the ride, is because you're moving the ship forward. You are piloting the ship forward. It's not staying stagnant. You're not being this fucking couch potato and this guy just like clicking through the channels all day. You're like, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. You're moving the ship forward. And she, as the first mate, is like, cool, sounds good. Let me know what you need from me. That's how you want her to be, man. But the mission always comes first. But when she starts throwing bullshit your way, and when she starts making, she's demanding your attention, she's throwing drama out there, man. I don't know if I want to talk about this, but I saw a buddy was telling me a story that this was maybe a couple of days ago. This had just happened to a friend of his. So he was with a friend of his. They were like at a bar or something like that, having a beer. All of a sudden, this guy gets a text from his girlfriend, and it's a picture of a guitar. I think it was like a Les Paul, like a legit Les Paul. Maybe not a legit one, but it was a nice guitar. Like, and those, if you know anything about guitars, good electric guitars that last can cost thousands of dollars. And it was a video, or I think it was a picture of the guy's guitar all like mangled and chewed up. And it was his girl that texted him and said, hey, the dog got into your studio and like ruined your guitar and chewed it all up. And the guy is freaking out, and I guess it wasn't his dog, it was her dog. And he's just starting to lose his shit. He's just like, I can't believe you would let this happen. Like, I'm going to kill that fucking dog. That's $5,000 down the drain. What the fuck? And this goes on for a couple of minutes. And he's saying stuff. He's like, you better be joking. This better be a fucking joke. It better be AI. And she's like, no, I don't know what to do. Like, yeah. Oh, what? And then after a couple of minutes, he's losing his shit. He's like freaking out. And she finally goes like, oh, it's just a joke. It's AI. Oh, it's just a joke. I was just kidding. How is that somebody that guy should spend an ounce of time more on? Somebody that thinks it's so important or is so attention starved and needy that this guy's out with a friend, catching up with a buddy, that she can't even be alone by herself for a couple hours without stirring up bullshit and stirring up drama. And I guarantee that this broad saw something on TikTok or on Instagram that was like, hey, ladies, you want to play a practical joke on your man? Like, use AI to show him that blah, 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 mess with his stuff. And I mean, the dude and it completely took him out. He couldn't enjoy himself the rest of the night because he was just like, I got to deal with this. And she's trying to FaceTime him and they're just arguing back and forth. And it's just, that's a woman that is going to complicate your life. And of course, she did the whole victim thing, like, oh, I don't know why you're getting so mad. It was just a joke. I was just kidding. Of course, she couldn't just say, yep, sorry, I fucked up. My bad. Won't happen again. That didn't happen. So that's somebody that's going to complicate your life, because now that night he was like out at a bar for a drink. But what happens when he's at a conference, at a business meeting? Now he's got to step out, or it could have been something worse. She's like, oh, like XYZ tripped down the stairs. Like, your mom broke her hip. She's in the hospital, right? Like, oh, but it's just a joke. Like, where's the line? Got to compliment you. Can't complicate you. Let's go to the next one. About halfway done. Let's see. That's 4, 5. Now this one is one that is a little convoluted, but I'll explain what I mean. Number 5 is do what works, not what works for you. Works for you is in quotations. And the subheading there is stop coping, kill your ego. Now, I see this a lot, especially when it comes to guys in the gym and like newbies or people. It always comes from guys that are clearly not in good shape. They're either skinny fat or they're just fat. And it could be something as innocuous as they're wearing like the wrong shoes. Like, you generally shouldn't wear running shoes to the gym, especially if you're doing any sort of pressing through your legs. You want stability between you and the floor. I'm not going to get into a whole exercise thing here, but one of the biggest copes I hear guys like, oh, well, it works for me, but they're fat and they're out of shape and they look the exact same as they did a year ago, or they look worse. It's like, clearly what you're doing is not working. And what this person is telling you under the veil of this works for me. It's this is comfortable. This feels good to me. I'm going to keep doing this because I'm afraid of discomfort and I'm scared of doing something that might be hard. If what you're doing is actually working, then that's what matters. There's a ton of different ways to skin a cat. There's a ton of different diets that work. You can do keto, you can do paleo, you can do carnivore, you can do intermittent fasting, you can do if it fits your macros, you can do any number one of these things. Just figure out what works for you is relative. They work if you do it the right way and you do the things that actually make the diet work. It's not finding the thing that makes you comfortable and saying, I'm comfortable. I like to do it this way. Like if somebody's like, how should I warm up in the gym? I'm like, you should just warm up doing the exercise that you're getting ready to do. They're like, well, how do I warm up for squats? I'm like, you fucking do squats. If that's your first exercise, like do fucking squats, do a couple warm-up sets, prime your muscles, getting ready for the actual movement. It's like, well, I like to run on the treadmill, or I like to do the elliptical or the bike, or I like to do some foam rolling and some dynamic stretching. And that works for me. I'm like, clearly it fucking does it because your legs are toothpicks. So what are you talking about? All right. Like, don't take advice from the guy that squats 450 pounds. Not like that's a lot, but you're sitting there with your freaking twigs for legs, like you're on stilts and you're trying to tell me that this works and it doesn't work. If what you're doing is not working, it's not working, period. So this is where a lot of people like to use that cope and say, oh, this works for me. It's like, no, it doesn't. Otherwise you wouldn't be fucking fat. Otherwise you wouldn't be skinny fat. Otherwise you would actually build muscle. Actually, you'd have a good physique, or you'd be smart, or you'd be in a better room, or you'd be smarter, or you'd have more money, or you'd be more well-connected, or you'd have a better network. All of this, it works for me, is all bullshit, right? Like really evaluate yourself. Think about the things that you're doing. Are the things, your daily habits, your exercise routine, your diet, the way you carry yourself, the way you do business, the way you go to work, the way you carry yourself at home, interact with women or your relationships or your friends, is that working for you? Is it actually working? And this is something that you guys have to figure out for yourself. Like nobody really knows the truth but you. And that's one of the hardest parts about life, is that we are really good about lying to ourselves. And sometimes it takes a coach or somebody that is an expert in human behavior that you hire or you listen to or you work with that will be able to call you out on your bullshit and you call you out on your excuses. But even then, coaches are still making educated guesses. That being said, it's like if you're not it's like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm eating in 1,000-calorie deficit. I'm not losing weight. It's like you're not eating a 1,000-calorie deficit because you literally can't do that. You can't gain weight if you're eating 1,000 fewer calories than you're burning in a day. You just can't. Get rid of the ego. Do what works, not what works for you. Number 6, your best does not exist because there's always room for improvement, right? So now you may have a best or do your absolute best at any given time and place and say, this is my 100%. I didn't have any more. I had no more to give. I threw everything that I had at this guy and he still beat me. Sitting here saying it doesn't matter because you tried your best. Well, as long as you did your best, that's all that matters. That just means your best wasn't good enough, which means you can do better. You can always get to that next level. You can push that wall back. You can always improve. Like you can exponentially improve your physique, your capacity, your work capacity, your ability to network and be charismatic, your ability to speak well. It's really just about, are you going to continue bashing that hammer against the rocks over and over and over and be okay with these incremental improvements every single day into the day you die? I am. I'm cool with that. Are you cool with that? Because here we're talking about growth again, right? Your best is just your current ceiling. And every single ceiling can be smashed through. There's no like limit to what you can achieve. There's no hard boundary that exists. It might exist right now and say, and that what guess what that just means? It just means you were underprepared. And it just means you didn't train hard enough, you didn't work hard enough, and your best just wasn't good enough this time. But your best might be good enough next time. If you keep working, if you keep training, if you keep doing the right things, but there's always room for improvement. And I think that's kind of the point that is lost on a lot of guys. Specifically, it's again, this idea of this is the best I can do and I didn't win. So but I can go home with my head held high because I did my best. It's like, here's the thing. Nobody cares. And nobody's going to care in 10 years or 50 years or 100 years. No one is going to look back at your win-loss record and say, he lost, but at least he did his best. They're going to look at the winner. They're going to look at the champion. They're going to look at the person who won. They're not going to look at second place. They'll be like, oh, that guy sucks to be that guy. He lost. Well, number two tried his best. It's like, was his best good enough? No. So does it matter? No. Another uncomfortable, maybe unsettling truth is that doing your best doesn't matter if you come up short. You should always do your best. You should try your very hardest to win. That's the whole point of doing it. Like, the whole point of playing isn't just to try, it's to fucking win. You play the game to win the game. And then hopefully you start to love it in the process. And that's what pushes you to keep going. But there's always room for improvement. You can always take another step and another and another and another. And the minute you lose sight of that is the minute you start to die. Number 7. This is one of my favorites. All of these are my favorites, but this is one of them. You can play or you cannot play, but you cannot change the game. And the subheading there is how it should be is irrelevant. I see this all the time. Every day, I'll say something like, women are like this. Guys are like this. It doesn't matter if you do your best. It matters if you win. It doesn't matter when you were born or what circumstances you were born with. It doesn't matter how much money you have in the bank or how much money you were born with. It doesn't matter where your starting point in life. None of that matters. Because they'll say, oh, but that's not how it should be. All kids should have access to this. All people should have access to this. All people deserve this. All people should have this. Guess what? That's not the world that we live in. And the people that are stuck trying to wrestle with this fact or trying to somehow influence others to change into the way that things should be, the people that are passing them, that are lapping them, that are taking advantage of them are the people that are like, I don't care how things should be. I care how things are. And I'm going to use that to my advantage. So while all of you motherfuckers are busy talking about, it shouldn't be like this, I'm like, I don't care how it should be. I'm focused on how it is. And I'm going to use that to kick your fucking ass. I'm going to use this to crush you. I'm going to dominate you because guess what? I'm coming for everything that you want. You are going after the same things as me and you're worried about the way that things should be. I'm worried about how things are. This was one of the easiest things for me to wrap my head around when I first had this like red pilling moment 5 years ago or so. I can't believe it's been that long. It was like, wait a minute. Okay. Everybody goes through that initial shock where it's like, I can't believe this is the way that it is. I can't believe this is really the way the world works. I can't believe that this is how women actually operate. And once you get over that, you're like, all right, I'm not mad anymore. Or maybe you're still mad. A lot of guys never get out of that rage phase. And maybe that's a discussion for another day, like why some guys get out of the rage phase faster than others. I think it just really depends on how much work you really have to do. I think some guys that stay in the rage phase for the longest time or the longest time or never get out of it is they have just so much work to do and they're so far behind that it's easier for them just to stay mad than it is to get to work. I never really had to have that big of a problem. I was in relatively okay shape. I could still talk to women. I got laid. I made decent money, right? Like I had things going for me. I had interesting hobbies. I played music. I sang, all that kind of stuff. It's not like I went from being this 300-pound basement dwelling video game addict with, a porn problem to all of a sudden having to go and be the guy that I am now. That mountain would have been much harder to climb with where I started. Not that matters. Doesn't matter where you start. Like, doesn't matter, right? Because there's people that have it worse than you. There's people that have it better than you. It doesn't fucking matter. And somebody else's circumstances has no effect on yours. So it doesn't fucking matter. But every day people are wasting their time talking about, it shouldn't be like that. It should. And you're wasting your time because it's not going to change. Human behavior is not something that is going to overwrite itself in the next 10 years, 100 years, 500 years, maybe a couple of 100,000 years, but none of us are going to be around that long. None of us are going to be around long enough for us to completely rewire our human brains to how we think things should be. We have to understand human behavior. We have to understand the way the world works now so we can play the game and use it to our advantage. These motherfuckers that think things should be different, they're playing an entirely different game. It's like, I have all the rules in front of me and they're like, no. those shouldn't be the rules. We should play by this rule. And it's like, I'm playing Monopoly. I know how to play Monopoly, right? I have the rules to Monopoly. And then some other motherfucker is like, no, 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 no. We should play it this way instead so that everybody gets to own the properties. Everybody, when you pass go, everybody gets $200. Everybody gets to put hotels on everybody's property. And it just goes around and around and around we go. And it's like, yeah, you can fuck off with that because I'm going to win. And this is how I'm going to play the game. So while you're worried about, oh, like, let's make sure this and that, I'm like, nah, man, I'm pass and go. I'm buying up properties. I'm charging you rent when you land on my spaces. I'm buying houses. Like I'm kicking your ass. I'm going to kick your ass in this all day long. So stop worrying about the way you think things should be and start worrying about where they are and just accept it, embrace it, embrace what the world is like, and then use it to your advantage. Because all the time you sit there thinking about how it shouldn't be this way is a complete waste of your time because it's keeping you from doing the things that are going to make you better. Focus on the way the world works. Number 8, the battle doesn't start until you show up. A lot of motherfuckers out there talking about, oh, showing up is half the battle. I've had people say like showing up is 90% of the battle. It's so fucking backwards. Showing up is the bare minimum because if you don't show up, then literally nothing happens. Nothing happens. And you can still show up and you can show up to an event or a conference and you can not talk to anyone. You can go sit in the corner on your phone with your coffee. You can sit there and just be doing this, something you maybe paid thousands of dollars for, or if you're at a conference that your work sent you on for networking, and you're sitting there with all of these potential opportunities and you'd rather just be in the corner because you're afraid to talk to people, right? Showing up means nothing. I've been to plenty of events. I've been to plenty of conferences where there's been hundreds of people there. I couldn't possibly meet everyone, but obviously you don't remember so many people because so many people just chose not to come up, chose not to have conversation, chose not to use the time that they had and take advantage of the opportunity that was laid out before them. You don't get a trophy just for showing up. You don't get a trophy just for participating. If you sign up for a marathon and you go to the starting line and then the gun goes off, you're like, hey man, like I only have to run 10% of the race, right? Because showing up is 90% of the battle. They're going to look at you like you're a fucking idiot because you are. So stop, this whole like showing up thing. It's just the beginning. You have to show up and you have to give 100%. It's like when I run my events with the Brotherhood guys, yeah, showing up is a big part of it. Showing up though is just the first step. You don't get any credit just for showing up to something. I'm not gonna be like, oh, hey man, cool. Like you're here. I will tell guys, hey, you're doing what a lot of people don't do, which is showing up, but don't fucking kid yourselves. Just showing up, it means nothing. And if you show up and you don't give 100% and you show up and you start half-assing it, or you show up and you're complaining, or you show up and you're letting your team down because you didn't prepare, you didn't get in the best shape you possibly could, and now we got to carry you through the obstacle course, or now you didn't do the homework so the tactics, so now everybody has to take time relearning all the basics because you couldn't take time doing it on your own time, and you bring the whole team down. Honestly, like that's going to make you look worse than a guy that just didn't show up. So there's, if you're going to show up, show the fuck up. I hate to even call this a quote because it's not really a quote, but it's something that has stuck with me because it's so simple and it's just ridiculous. So Rich Graham, Navy SEAL Team 10 guy. He's the guy that owns Full Spectrum Warrior. If you're not following Full Spectrum Warrior on Instagram, go follow those guys. They're amazing. We train with them a bunch. Again, we did a couple events with them over the past couple of years and doing 2 events with them. That's where I just was this past weekend. And we're doing CQB. So if you guys know what CQB is, close quarter battle, or CQC, close quarters combat, basically when you're going through and clearing rooms, like in a house environment or apartment building. He's got a big shoot house set up and there's doors and there's entryways and hallways and all this stuff. And he always likes to say, there's a way to go about it. There's 2 ways to clear a room. You can be deliberate or dynamic. Deliberate is careful. So it's peeking around corners, taking your time, like inching your way around a doorway. So you're kind of like seeing. And then there's dynamic, which is just like, we're kicking this fucking door down and we're going to bring it to whoever's on that other side. And it's always paper targets or mannequins, right? Because it's, simunition. But in any case, and he loves to say, if you're going to go, go. If you're not, don't. I know. Truly, truly groundbreaking stuff, right? But I take that with me every single day on something. And basically, the way I look at it, it's like, if you're going to show up and you're going to be here, show up and be here and get after it 100%. Otherwise, just stay the fuck home. Stay on the fucking couch, watch TV, eat popcorn, jack off, play fucking video games, bitch online about women, go watch another fucking red pill circle jerk podcast. I'm not saying red pill is just whatever. You know what I'm saying? Go out there and just watch other people living life and chasing their dreams and yelling at the TV because motherfucker dropped a pass or somebody did something you didn't like or he got a penalty flag and now it ruined your day because you're more invested in the lives of other men than you are your own life. If you're going to go. If you're not, don't. If you're going to show up, go 1,000% and give your fucking 100% dog it out effort or just stay the fuck home. But you do not get any credit just for showing up. I know we're running a little long here, guys, but I got a couple more. Number 9, I'll try to speed through these. Number 9, your duties as a man are entirely up to you, but prepare yourself for the consequences of your choices. So again, I've said this before. There's a lot of people out there, especially in the masculinity space, that are like, that say it's your job as a man. It's your duty as a man. You are a man. You need to be a man. You need to do these things. These are non-negotiable if you are a man. And I just think all that is bullshit. Whenever someone is trying to tell you, you know, what a real man is, it's generally whatever serves their narrative. If it's a woman, it's whatever serves their narrative at any given point in time. A real man pays for my nails. A real man covers her rent. A real man pays for the fee to find a babysitter so I can go out with him on a date. Like, it's whatever a real man is whatever mostly benefits her at that given time. For men, what they think a real man is a lot of time, it's like whatever they are. So if they're blue collar, it's like a real man works with his hands. Oh, or a real man is an entrepreneur, not a 9-to-5 worker. Well, a real man, blah, 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 blah. And it's all posturing. It's a lot of kayfabe. It's a lot of WWE. It's a lot of bullshit. I tell guys, just like you choose your purpose and your duty, you get to absolutely choose what your purpose is and what your duties are. That being said, you are not free from the consequences that come from those choices. You can choose to do whatever you want with your life. You can smoke fucking weed and play video games all day, but you don't get to be insulated from the consequences of getting fat and women not wanting to be around you and you being a lazy sack of shit and you're broke and people look at you because you're not a contributing member of society or you're not somebody that they would want in their tribe. You can be a 9-to-5 worker. You can be somebody that works that and somebody can say it's like you can be all that. But when people are going to ask you about what do you think about XYZ subject and when they're looking for people they want to network with, those guys that are in control of their own destiny and run their own businesses are they want to be around guys that are in control of their own destiny and running their own businesses. Guys want to be around guys that are like them and vice versa. They want to build tribes and memberships and communities with people that are like them and that share the same experiences or goals. And so you just have to understand that whatever you choose, there are going to be certain consequences. There are going to be certain results that come out as a part of that. And that's okay. What you don't get to do is say, well, Mother told me I could be a complete degenerate and just spend all my time doing hedonistic pursuits like running after loose women and doing drugs and fucking gambling and doing all this shit. You can knock yourself out, feel free. But when people aren't going to want to mess with you, when people aren't going to want to deal with you or talk to you, or they're not going to want to have you in their conversations or their circles, and when they don't look at you as somebody that they can trust because all you do is let yourself be consumed by your most animalistic bottom line desires, you don't get to complain. You don't get to bitch and piss and moan for being a sloppy fat fuck and the women don't want to be around you. You can be a sloppy fat fuck if you want to, but you don't get to make it other people's problem. You don't get to say, hey, I'm doing this, and you have to mold or change your perception of me so it makes me feel better and makes me fit in. You don't get to do that. Go be fucking MGTOW if you want. Go swear off women and go do all that shit and go live in a compound or do all that shit or whatever. Nobody gives a fuck. It's always funny how those guys are screaming the loudest about like not needing validation, but they're needing validation for not needing validation. They're like, hey guys, Sigma male here. I actually don't need validation. So please look at me and give me validation for not needing validation. It's like, if you didn't need validation, you wouldn't even make a comment. You just shut the fuck up. Like nobody would ever hear from you. It's crazy, right? This whole lone wolf shit. I'm a lone wolf. Like, no, you're autistic. Again, for another time. Choose what you want to be. Understand the consequences that come out of that. Number 10, sometimes quitting is the best option. Learn to walk away from what doesn't serve you. This is far more easily said than done, and I understand, but it isn't everything in life, right? Bench 315 pounds. That's really easy to say. It's really hard to do. Done it. Humble brag. 335. But this is something that's really hard for a lot of people to gauge. There's a graphic that I saw a long time ago, and maybe you guys kind of know what I'm talking about. There's a graphic of there's two men that have these pickaxes, and they're like on top of each other, like separated by it's rock. So like one guy's on this level, the other guy's on this level, and one guy is hammering and hammering and hammering. And so it's like there's this barrier, and then there's all these diamonds behind it, and the guys are on this side of the barrier. One guy is hammering and one guy is walking away. And the guy who's walking away only needed a couple of more hits to break through that wall and strike diamonds and strike riches. But he had no idea how close he was to doing that. He had no idea that he was just a few hits away, because he could have easily been a million hits away. He just doesn't know, because you don't know what's on the other side of that rock. And so this is a more difficult one. And this is something that takes a lot of discernment skills. And guess what? To have discernment skills and learn discernment, you're pretty much going to have to get fucked over by people. You're pretty much going to have somebody out there, whether it's a woman who breaks up with you and dumps you, whether it's a business partner that stabs you in the back and fucks off and runs off with the money, whether it's a best friend that throws you under the bus for something, whether it's a coworker that talks shit on you and steals the promotion, whatever it might be. Because naturally, we human beings, I think, want to be trusting of others. We naturally, and again, we're lazy thinkers. Like, we want to go along with what's comfortable. We don't want to just evaluate every single person for every little thing and constantly grill them and figure out exactly who they are. Because it takes a lot of time and effort and brain power. And we just don't have that kind of time to evaluate every single person in our life with that same vigor. So what's tough is you never really know when the right time to walk away is. You don't really know. Because again, you might just end up getting screwed. And this is what's important about having good people in your life, good people in your circle that can look out for your blind spots. A tribe of men who knows what your goals are, who knows what your dreams and aspirations are, and can take a step back and say, hey man, you telling me you want to do A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, X, Y, Z. You going down this path, I don't think this is going to be the way that you're going to best achieve those goals and where you're going to best hit where you want to go. And you often are so close to it and so laser beam focused and so horse blinders on this thing that something that sounds good to you, like, oh, cool, that sounds awesome. Like, let's do it. Oh, this is going to 10x my business and only cost me yes. Oh, totally. 2 + 2 = 4. Boom. Like, because the guys are really logical thinkers. It's like, oh, well, this guy says we can do this, we can do this, we can do this. And that equals money. That equals power. That equals status. Great. Sign me up. And without a good, trusted team of advisors, it's like, hey, dude, I don't know if that's the right call. It can be really tough to make these decisions for yourself. But sometimes walking away is the best option. Sometimes walking away is the best option because the stuff you're doing is not going to serve you. At the same time, sometimes walking away is a terrible option. How many guys, finally hit it big after, again, going back to Hormozy, like Hormozy could have walked away from entrepreneurship. He could have gone back to being a consultant. He said he failed his first 9 businesses. At what point is that guy going to hang it up? Well, it's working now. And who knows? Like, if he had hung it up after the 2nd, 3rd, 5th, 4th, 7th, 8th failure, we never would know his name, probably. But here he is. So this is tough. But this is, I think, something that you guys need to learn. I think guys need to learn in general, because discernment skills and having people around you to help you make decisions. You're still the final decision maker at the end of the day. It's your life. And it's not just surrounding yourself with people that care about you. It's surrounding yourself about people that understand what you're going through and are like-minded. Because oftentimes the people that love us the most, and I say that in quotes because I think, that's not the best way to see if somebody has your best judgments in mind, just because they love you, like your family, your parents, siblings, children even. A lot of times they love you so much they want to see you protected. They don't want you to take risks because they have this natural, especially parents, they have this natural inclination to want to protect you from the harm of the world that never goes away. unless they're the kind of person that is really, really comfortable and understands risk and can guide you that way. So if you've got entrepreneurial parents or they've been down that road, they can give you great guidance, but maybe your parents worked for the government. Maybe they were 9 to 5 workers their whole lives. Maybe they were stay at home. I don't know. But if you're going on such a different path that these people went down, it's really hard to take their advice and do anything good with it because they just don't understand what you're going through and what you're going to go do. So sometimes quitting is the best option. When that happens is varies from person to person. I don't know. 2 more, guys. Appreciate you guys sticking with me. Number 11, trying to change someone's opinion of you is a waste of time. Their mind is already made up. Now, this is something that I run into a lot. You know, I make TikToks and I make videos on YouTube and I do stuff on Instagram, and you wouldn't believe the amount of projection. I mean, you probably would, but I'll make a video about this and they're like, you're this guy, you drive this thing, you live in this kind of house, you make this much money, you've had sex with this many women, you have this many people in your life, blah, 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 blah. Over me saying like, hey man, women are like hypergamous. So use that to your advantage and don't worry about it because there's probably somebody out there that is better than you and whatever the fuck I'm saying at any given time. There's no point in trying to change their opinion. This is why I don't talk a lot about my private life. You know, this is why I don't talk a lot about whether I have this or whether I have that, because take like the girl thing, for example. I don't ever really talk about my relationships or my relationship status or if I'm dating or who I'm dating or if I'm in an LTR or if I'm spinning plates. I don't talk about that shit on purpose because I could be like, oh yeah, like I was out with this chick or whatever, or I was out with this, or I do have an LTR. Like, oh, I have these plates that are, and then people are like, oh yeah, right. Like they're like, I was like, okay. They're like, hey, Moff, why should we listen to you about dating? Like, you don't have any proof. And it's like, okay, man, I spin plates. Yeah, fucking right. How many? 5. Yeah, right, dude. Probably not. I'm like, okay, here they are. Here are their names. Oh, yeah, right. Well, you're not showing us pictures of them, so they're probably ugly. It's like, actually, no, they're all really gorgeous and attractive, and they are obsessed with me, and they know about each other. Oh, yeah, right, man. These are probably like hired whores and models. You can't actually get girl. Like, it doesn't matter what you tell them. Once they've made up their mind about you, they will forever continue to move that goalpost back and will never give you credit. And here's the thing. People that are doing that don't fucking matter. It's always the people that don't care about you and don't want to see you win and that want to like throw dirt on your name and like talk shit about you. They want to talk shit about you more than anything. That's what they want. And they're not going to give that up no matter what evidence is staring them right in the face. Like somebody that just will not put their hand up and say, okay, I admitted I was wrong. There are people out there that are going to support you pretty much no matter what, to a certain extent. And there's people out there that are going to hate your fucking guts and just not like you no matter what, especially if you do anything like this. So guess what? Fucking let them. Fuck them. Who cares? They've made up their mind already about you. And guess what? Like, let's say you change their mind. Now what? They're like, oh, actually, man, cool. Like, those girls are pretty hot. Like, all right, I guess I was wrong. Cool. Where do we go from here? Like, who gives a fuck? I have this guy's approval, like there's random strangers internet on the approval now. Like, why do I care? Why do I give a shit? And the people that are close to me and in my inner circle, they know about all this stuff. They know my private life. They have my background information and I trust them with my fucking life and I trust them with my stuff because they matter. I would never give that shit away on, like, people ask me personal questions on the internet all the time on Instagram. Ones that you guys are probably not surprised. There's probably going to be that same question asked in this video. I'm not going to fucking address what that question is, but if you see it, you'll probably know what I'm talking about. These people that are complete strangers and they think they have like any sort of, they're entitled to some sort of explanation about your personal relationships in your personal life. They're not. You're not. And I always say, like, I don't give a fuck if you guys believe me or not. Like, I don't care. If you don't like what I have to say, then fuck off. I don't care. I'm not here to convince you. I'm here to find guys that are like, damn, this motherfucker's got some shit to say. Oh, cool. He got into good shape. Maybe I should follow him. Oh, cool. Like, he runs a tribe of men. Maybe I could be part of that. Oh, cool. They do cool, fun shit. And I want a tribe of men and I want to be involved in that. Oh, cool. Let me see what these guys got to say. I don't give a fuck about people that don't like me or that aren't about that life. Like, I really don't fucking care. They've already made up their mind. All right, guys, let's start to wrap this up. This is one of my favorites, to be honest. Number 12 is let go of the revenge fantasy. A tornado never looks back. So this is a huge, huge thing. I think when guys find this stuff, they find it because of a breakup or divorce, like I said, or a business partner, something happens, and they use that pain, they use that fuel, and they think, I'm going to show her, I'm going to show him. And they become consumed by this. And they think that I'm going to go get into good shape. I'm going to go and make all this money. I'm going to go get the Lambo. I'm going to have this mansion of a house. And then this woman that dumped me and did me wrong is going to come crawling back, and she's going to beg me to take her back, and she's going to cry and scream and beg it out. She made the biggest mistake of her life, and she never should have broken up with me, and she's going to be so impressed. And then I'm going to do one of two things. He's like, I'm either going to, I'm gonna lead her on, and I'm gonna just use her for sex, and then I'm gonna discard her like trash, like she did me, or I'm just gonna be like, sorry, toots, hit the bricks. And these guys like create this fantasy narrative of themselves of that never happens, right? Like it just doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. Like maybe once in a while and maybe a long time from now, ex-girlfriends, ex-wives, whatever, will put themselves back in your orbit and will say things or that kind of thing. But for the most part, like I said, in number 11, people have their mind made up. Her mind is already made up about you. And when a chick leaves, you mean she's done with you. Like she's not looking back. She's a tornado. Like does a tornado look back at the destruction in its wake? No. It's only looking forward to destroying more houses. It's on to the next thing. She's not thinking about you. You're not crossing her mind at all. You're wasting your time and energy thinking about this like fantasy interaction that you're going to have where you're going to reject her and shut her down. And then for what? Like what's going to happen after that? You're going to like be Mr. Cool Guy now? Like what's the end game? Really? Just so you can stick it to a broad? Like you're going to do all of this hard work just so you can stick it to a chick? Because here's most likely what'll happen. She's just going to laugh at you. She's going to think you're a fucking huge dork. She'll be like, dude, I broke up with you like 5 years ago. Like I'm married with kids, or like I found a guy that I'm in love with and he's not you. Like, and you did all of this stuff to try to get back at me. Like you're a fucking loser. Like it's all pure cope. Like you're a fucking poser. And if you do that just for the aspect of getting back to somebody, then you fucking are. Like if you're not improving for the sake of improving and you don't want to make your life better because life is better when it's better. I know, truly groundbreaking stuff. Life is better when you're in good shape. Life is better when you have money. Like life is better healthy than unhealthy, in good shape versus fat. Life is better when you have money versus no money. Life is better when you have a strong, close-knit tribe of guys versus being alone and having nobody to talk to. Life is better when you have women around that complement your life instead of complicated or no women at all. So this idea that you're going to like throw it back in some chick's face, it's fucking stupid. Let it go. It's never going to happen. And even if you do get that opportunity, she's just going to laugh at you. And then you're going to be like, you mean looking yourself in the mirror and saying, I did all of that for nothing, because you're looking for this big fantasy payoff of, I'll show her, like she'll regret it. It's never going to happen. She's gone, dude. She's already forgotten about you. And no matter what you do, no matter how much money you make, no matter how much better looking you become, no matter how jacked you get, in all likelihood, it's not always the case. In all likelihood, she has to make up her mind about you that you are going to be forever a loser and a poser, because most women can't handle the fact that they're making a wrong decision or that they missed out on the right guy that they could pass their genetic legacy on. That's hypergamy, right? So if she lets go of that branch, she's pretty sure that that branch is done and dead. And now she's on to the stronger one. Women don't normally go back in the story. It's very rare that that happens. So let the tornado blow your shit up. It's never going to look back. Understand why things happen the way they did. Take ownership of it. Understand the role that you played in your own destruction and the role you played in your own fuck ups and your mishaps, and use them to become better. And use them to become better, because life is better when you are better. I've been fucking fat and obese. I've been in great shape. Life is better in great shape. I've been fucking broke. I've had money. Life is better when you have money. I've been single and sexless. I've been abundant with women. Life is better when you're abundant with women. I've worked for other people that told me what I can do with my life, what I can do with my time, how I'm allowed to spend it, who I'm allowed to be friends with, what opinions I'm allowed to have. And I've had complete freedom where I can do whatever the fuck I want and nobody can tell me shit. And I prefer that over that. So anyway, I think that's it for me, guys. Um, yeah. I hope you guys like that. I hope you guys like that. I'm going to probably tailor that presentation. I think maybe that's something I can take to like speaking gigs, hopefully, something that I'm going to continue to refine, something that I'm going to continue to work on. But this is just stuff that I've been thinking about, that I've been cooking up. And I try not to rip off other people, but ideas are, everybody has similar ideas. But I think that I can articulate these in a way that makes sense for me and makes sense for the guys in my tribe, my group, and people that listen. So if you guys like that, please consider subscribing, liking the video, leaving a comment. All that stuff and activity is good for the algorithms. Want to get this more stuff out. I release long form videos every single Wednesday. In about an hour, we have right back here on this channel, we have the female POV. So we've got a whole new cast and crew of ladies tonight talking about dating. If my voice holds up, we're going to keep going. And then tomorrow night, me and TC are going to be doing navigating modern dating. And we're right back to our normally, scheduled programming. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, guys. Go ahead and get some food. Go ahead and hydrate and try to rest my voice for the next hour or so. But hopefully we'll see you right back here in about 51 minutes or so. And then tomorrow night for navigating modern dating. So